Simpsons. I always call the Simpsons the Mimpsons because I'm really funny. What I do is sometimes I take the first letter of a word or a name and I change it to a different letter. That's the pinnacle of my comedy. Right, Simpsons Hit and Run, an old game on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox, the version that I played very recently. So this game came out when I was a kid, and it was great. I remember loving it. And I say that. I remember it being one of the most frustrating games I've ever played in my life. And this is what I kind of want to touch upon right now. I played this kind of recently. I was thinking about it today for some reason. I think I've played it recently enough to be able to remember what was going on, and actually talk about it. I played it, I think, maybe a couple of months ago. And I played it on the Xbox. And you know what? It is a good game, man. It is really cool. And the fact you get to go around Springfield, it's just great. All the characters are there. It is really fucking cool. I do think Simpsons Road Rage, in a way, did it better in terms of a lot of the dialogue and stuff. If I'm honest, I like the dialogue on Simpsons Road Rage a little bit better. It's a great game. And everyone, this is the game that everyone says we want a remaster of, we want a new one, we want this, this, and this, and this. And I tell you what, though, go back and play it, and you might change your mind in a way. As if they're a remaster and it's basically the exact same game, I don't think I want it. And I'll tell you why. It's got loads of things, loads of tropes that have not aged well at all. Things that are probably, even back then I found them annoying. The game has way too many driving missions. Like, half the game is that, I know it's meant to be Simpsons Hit and Run, I think it is meant to be more focused on driving, I don't know. But goddamn, some of the missions are just so annoying, like the ones where you have to have a time limit. Literally, if you accidentally crash into a pole, that's it, you're fucked. The game is incredibly difficult. It is actually really hard. And I thought maybe, it was just me as a kid or something, or me now, like it didn't take me too hard. Me, sorry, that sounded funny when I said that. Me. When I was playing it, I didn't find it too difficult. And I just kept going and going again anyway, because I don't really like to give up on stuff. My girlfriend found it fucking impossible. She literally just couldn't do it. She was like, you've got to do it for me, I can't. And yeah, it's tough. It's a really hard game, and I kind of feel like they need to tone that shit down, but there's also too many goddamn driving missions with time limits. I hate time limit driving missions. It's just so annoying. That's half the game, if not most, like 70% of the game is that, Oh, and it's really frustrating. It's actually a very frustrating game. And I actually never beat it. Sorry, I didn't beat it recently because I hit a point in the game where the game said, hey, you need to get like, I don't know, 100 coins or something. I don't remember the exact number. It was a lot of coins, or like 1,000 or something crazy. And I'm not even joking. I can't find the coins anywhere. I've been driving around Springfield. I can't find the fucking coins. How do I get them? It doesn't really explain. Like, I know you gotta punch the things and kill the bees and that, or whatever they are, the wasps, the little robots. I can't find them anywhere. And it's just like, what the fuck? I honestly just gave up. I was like, I ain't got time to be looking around like for days on end trying to find these goddamn coins. Why can't I just carry on with the rest of the game, man? I don't know. I just don't think it's aged very well at all. And everyone's saying they want a remake and a remaster. I don't know. I feel like, because especially since nobody is really that into the Simpsons, the Mimpsons anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anyone who says, oh yeah, I tune in every week to watch the Mimpsons. Do you know what I mean? I don't know anyone like that. I mean, I loved the old Simpsons. I actually started watching them all, and I've got to like season 3, but I just kind of forgot what disc I was on. And then we've, completely forgot where we were, so we've been waiting for Disney Plus, but now Disney Plus is out, but now we're in quarantine, so we can't watch it together. Who fucking cares? First world problems. But I don't know. Do you know anyone who goes, oh yes, the Mimpsons, I tune in every week to watch my favorite show. Oh, the Mimpsons. No. So I kind of feel like if it just came out now, everyone would be like, well, they wouldn't be as like, oh my god, look at Springfield, wow, and look past all its faults, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of games like that. Like there's a game I played recently, like a Samurai Champloo game, and that game wasn't very good, but I was still like, oh man, this is so cool, because it's like, I get to play as fucking Mugen. You know what I mean? From the show, I love the show. So for me, seeing it in 3D is like, wow, that's so fucking cool. Do you know what I mean? You got that nostalgic value. You don't really care if the game's shit. There's something that I played recently, or watched recently. Oh, Advent Children. I watched that recently, the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. And yeah, like, it hasn't aged well in terms of the writing at all. Like, Cloud literally leaves his family because he feels he can't, like, what the, it's just, it's so stupid, like, the writing, but I don't really care because I just beat Final Fantasy VII and the remake, and I was like, yeah, seeing all them on the screen is so cool again, woo! You just kind of turn into like a little weird fanboy shill loser who's like, yes, but hey, you know, it is what it is. And I just feel like things haven't aged well, and also, like, I mean, another remaster they've just released, I think. I'm not entirely sure if they've just released. Let me have a quick check. Hold on, 1 second. Here we go. You can see my music up right there. Mafia remastered. Okay, is the first one out? I don't know if the first one's actually out. Hold on, Mafia 1 remaster. Let's try. Official screen. Oh, okay. It's just an announcement at the moment. So they've announced Mafia 1 as a remake. Which, again, is a perfect example of a game not aging well at all. I recently played that with Angus. We have weekends together where we just play. I buy a fuck ton of really crappy old PS2 games, and good ones as well, and we just play these PS2 games. And he was telling me how good Mafia was, so I got it for us. And it was really shit. And the controls were abysmal, to the point where even Angus was like, what? Like, I don't remember it being this bad. I remember it being an amazing game, one of my favorite games of all time. I'm like, yeah, it's not aged well, is it? It's not good. And it's kind of like, that's a problem with a lot of these nostalgic games, is that, you know, you can say, oh, this game's sick, you gotta play it. But you have an attachment to it. You know what I mean? So then when someone plays it and it's bollocks, doesn't age well, then it's like, oh, right, yeah, it's just, like, no one's got an attachment to it, so they can't overlook its faults. There aren't that many games I can say, like, I recently played Final Fantasy X. My favorite game of all time, by the way, and I played 10 too. And I think that game has aged pretty well, because RPGs just can't really age too badly, to be honest. And I also got, got Angus playing actually, and my girlfriend, and they both actually really like it at the moment. And that game hasn't aged too well, sorry, too bad. But it also hasn't aged well in terms of character models on some parts. You know, some of the animation's really stiff and all this shit, and I'm noticing it more and more now since I've just played, a fucking top-end game like FF7 Remake and stuff. And that's an example of a game you can remaster, because I don't think it's really gonna, it still plays pretty well. You can't really mess up an RPG, you just literally choose what happens and there you go. You can't mess up the gameplay aspect. Whereas gameplay has changed so much since the PS2 era. You know what I mean? So Mafia just felt like shit. And some things have hit and run as well, like some of the controls are frustrating, and some of the level designs are frustrating, things you don't see in modern games. And I don't see it translating well to this era, unless they decide to be like, you know what, we're gonna remake it, change the driving, change this, change that, change this, change everything, basically make the whole game again, which is why it's called a remake. But I don't even mean like, just tweaking it and taking assets and whatever, they're literally full on, call it with the Crash games and the Spyro games, like that kind of thing. I don't know. The game has not aged as well as you think. So if everybody is saying, oh, we want this game remastered, oh, it's the best game ever, honestly, go back and play it, and I think you'll be a little surprised at how well it just hasn't aged that well. And you're like, oh, it's not as good as I remember it. See, the games that are the best are the games that you go back and you play it and you're like, man, this is actually better than I remember it. Time Splitters 2, for example, I played that recently. The map maker and just playing Virus with Angus on our custom levels was way more fun than I remember it. The campaign, however, was fucking bollocks compared to how I remember it. Future Perfect's map maker was very bollocks compared to how I remember it, Like, even the story on Future Perfect was a bit eh. Like, games just haven't aged that well, and that's one thing I've definitely come to terms with and learned, is that PS2 games have not aged well at all. I've played so much shit. And the problem is we're playing them and we're like, they're not even terrible, funny bad where you can drink them because they're so shit. They're just bad and boring. Like, we played the Smarties Meltdown game. It's just a platformer and you play as a Smartie. Stupid, but it's just not so bad it's funny. Like the Mr. Bean game I played, it's just so... They're so average and bland that they're not even funny. And you can't even drink to them. They're not even, like, terrible. They're just... Like... It's better to play something terrible than play something that's bad. So this is a whole different topic right now. I'm going off on one. Yeah, but you get the idea. This game has not aged the best. I might do a video about the PS2 era games, maybe, we'll see. Anyway, leave a comment down below what you think of Simpsons Hit and Run. Have you got any ideas for remasters you'd like to see from the PS2, leave them below. And I'll see you next time. What the fuck? I literally just hit 10 minutes when I said that. That's weird. Huh. Well, algorithm's gonna love me!